All right, guys, welcome back to Always Moving Forward. I'm your host, Cross. Again, it's Friday. It's been a great week. We've had a lot of views, come in this week with, especially with Ashley Betcher's video. So if you've missed that interview, I highly recommend you watching that one. Today, I have Johnny Shirley. Johnny is a actor I met on Facebook, and we've been trying to go back and forth a little bit, trying to get him on. So I'm glad he's here today. So we're gonna bring him in and get to know Johnny and see a little bit about what what we're gonna hear about his journey, and then we're also going to learn some of the things that he's been working on and some things that he's done in the past. So without further ado, what's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing? I'm glad to see everyone.
I'm glad we finally connected where we could get to actually do this interview.
Yeah, I didn't think it was ever going to happen, man.
Right. So, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's a real honor.
Cool. I appreciate it. So we're gonna kind of jump into it. So our audience gets to know, gets to learn a little bit about you and your journey, and kind of some of the projects that you've been working on. And then we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So why don't you go ahead and tell us where you were born and raised, and kind of what was life like growing up?
Okay. I was born in Carrollton, Georgia. I left, my mom and dad split up when I was 5, and my mom's from down in Tampa, Florida. I was about to say down here, but in Tampa, Florida, near Tampa, Florida, it's called a little city called Lithia, Florida.
Okay.
That's where I've been raised since I was 5 years old. I'm 49 now.
Wow.
So I'm pretty much, don't want to say it too much, a Floridian kind of, but I still claim my Georgia roots for sure. Because I was born in Carrollton, Georgia, and I love Georgia so much. And I go back and forth to film up there sometimes, see my dad, see my family up there as well. But I was raised down here, and I mean, my mom, pretty much raised me and my brother by herself. My dad was, in and out, I mean, he came, picked us up some summers and all that stuff, but it was basically just me, my mom, and my brother that, that's how, a lot of my childhood was. And at a very early age, I always thought and believed that I should be in the entertainment business. Always, felt that. I just felt a strong connection to Hollywood for whatever reason. I didn't think I was going to be an actor by any means. I was supposed to be a rock star, and my teachers in school used to hate it all the time because they want me to do my work. I'm like, I don't need to do my work. I'm going to be a rock star. I don't have to worry about nothing, man. And well, that didn't work out. I did a little bit of rock star in the garage. Never went anywhere. But I sung a little bit of death metal. I did audition for a Tampa-based band called Nocturnus back in 1990, 92, I think, or 91, I think it was. They already had a record deal and everything. I auditioned for them. Of course, I didn't get the part, but later on in life, I got away from the music, and in my early mid-20s, I started doing pro wrestling, and did pro wrestling for seven years. Not for WWE, but for the local stuff here in Tampa, St. Pete, Stanford. I did a couple shows in Alabama. I was a tag team, and then I went solo, and then after raising a family, raising my kids and stuff like that. I'm still raising them, but they're not grown yet, but they're almost grown. I was just sitting in my bed one day, and it's like, I want better out of life. I want to get back into the entertainment business. I felt that I was too out of shape and too old to do wrestling again, even though I love wrestling. So my cousin Freddie, who's an actor, I was like, you know what? My cousin Freddie can do it. I can do it. And so instantly what I did is I took everything on Facebook, and I Googled, because I was 46 at the time. I Googled how many actors started at 46, How many actors were balding like I was? How many actors were overweight? And because I had all these things coming to me, like I can't do it. I got all this against me, but I started doing research. I put in, I answered a casting call,
Right.
got an audition. 2 weeks later, I nailed the audition, got the part, and that just fueled the fire. And I just keep putting on, and putting on.
Cool. First of all, I'm going to go back. First of all, you look like somebody who would be in a death metal band.
Yeah, I love that stuff, man.
Yeah. So,
And back in the 90s, Tampa
right.
was huge in death metal.
Right.
Huge in death metal. They got a bunch of bands like Obituary, Deicide, Death, Nocturnus, Morbid Angel. All these bands were from Florida, in Brandon and Tampa area. And man, I love that. It was a big scene down here for a long time.
Right. And then you talk about wrestling. I've been watching the documentary on Undertaker. I don't know if you've seen it on. I'm trying to think if it's Netflix or it might be on Amazon Prime. But there's a documentary on Undertaker, The Last Ride. Talking about his career.
I haven't seen the film, but I did see that. Yeah.
I mean, when you look at all the stuff that these wrestlers go through, I mean,
yeah,
you were a wrestler for how long?
7 years.
7 years, man. I don't know how you guys do that, man.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Everybody says, "Oh, wrestling's fake." I'm here to tell you, it's not fake. I've seen people break bones. I've seen people get gashed. I've seen people, take chairs like a champ, man. I mean, it's choreographed. Just it's not fake for sure.
Right. Yeah, I saw some, what he went through, and yeah, I mean, I definitely couldn't do it. So, for you to do that for 7 years, that's pretty tough. So,
every day in training, I left with a migraine headache, and I was trying to talk myself and talk myself into going back the next day to do it again. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? I was in so much pain every day, every training, but it pays off when you do it the right way. Everything pays off.
Wow. So with going from doing death metal and then doing wrestling, what kind of made you just think about doing going into acting?
Yeah, I mean, I was just wanting to get back in like I said before, I always felt a connection to Hollywood and the entertainment business. So I've always wanted to entertain. I'm always entertaining my friends. I'm always being the big goofball. I'm always entertaining somehow, some way. I'm always wanting the attention on me. I guess it's because I'm a Leo, maybe. I don't know. But I just love it. I just feel a connection to it, and I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do in life. And so, I mean, I started acting 2.5 years ago, and I'm not going to give up until my name's on that Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Wow. Yeah. So, going into acting, going from death metal and wrestling, what was the biggest difference, from entertaining in that kind of crowd going into acting?
Yeah. Really, the difference really not too much, really, because one of the differences is that when you're wrestling, you have crowds that you have to entertain far away. On film, it's right here. It's right there, and so your facial expressions are more looked at and stuff like that. So you really can't mess up too much. But it's kind of goes hand in hand a little bit. Doing wrestling kind of prepped me for doing acting because I've never taken in any acting classes or anything. I want to, I just don't have the money, right now, because I mean, money's real scarce right now in my world. So, and it's hard. So I want to take acting classes and all that, but I think wrestling did prep me for it. Yes.
Okay, and that's what I was going to ask you, is if you had any kind of like going to any kind of schooling or anything for it, but you just went for it. So
yeah. Oh, me and my cousin Freddie. His name is Alfred Breer. He's acted on 3 films: One the Grind, Spencer Confidential, and Defending Jacob Malloy. And he's took acting classes, since he was a child and all that. And me and him were talking, and I told him, I says, see, I've always felt acting was either you have it or you don't. And he says, exactly. He goes, I've been told that my whole life. You either have it or you don't. Acting classes help. I'm not going to say they don't. I'm sure any kind of training, being an actor is, like sharpening your tool. Like, if you're a roofer, you need a hammer. That's a tool. You want a good one. But it's just sharpening your skills and stuff like that. So acting classes would definitely be beneficial, and it may be in the future, but as of right now, I have no training whatsoever.
Wow. So, like, whenever you first started going in, did you ever like go hang out at movie sets to kind of figure out how things work, or?
No, sir. I jumped in 2 feet first. I jumped in the whole kit and caboodle. My cousin Freddie told me a little bit of things about, the term striking, blocking, stuff like that. But I'm learning as I go. I don't recommend this because I don't know if anybody, it's harder that way. But I figured, you know what, I'm going to do this and we're going to see where it takes me.
Well, you've been pretty successful at it because you've already landed, a couple of roles on it.
Oh yeah, I've been a part of over 20 titles so far. I don't have an agent. I don't have a manager. I don't have anybody pumping me up. I don't have anybody sending my name anywhere. I'm doing everything myself because, again, I didn't know exactly what I was doing when I started it. But I've been answering casting calls off Craigslist, Backstage, Facebook, everything I could. If it says casting calls, I'm looking at it, and if I fit the bill, I'm going to submit myself to it for sure.
Cool. So do you remember your first casting call, like and doing your audition?
Yeah, I do. I got it off Craigslist, and it was for a movie that's still supposed to be coming out. It's called Super X Black Ops. It's a movie about ex-military type things. Got a lot of fighting in it. Jack Flores is the director, and I answered it off Craigslist, and he said, "Hey, meet me at the park in Tampa. This park in Tampa." I'm like, "Wow, a park? Really?" It kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm like, "Okay, well." So I went to the park, and he had me read this script right quick and kind of remember it. And he goes, "Act this out for me." I'm like, okay, that was my first time ever doing anything, and so I did it. And he said, "Do it this way." And I did it that way he wanted me to do it. And I did it a couple different ways. And he goes, "Okay, we'll be in touch." And I said, "Okay." And then I left. And 2 weeks later, he called me up and he goes, "You got the job if you want it." And he goes, "Initially, it was going to be a cameo, but now I have a spot for you. It's not it wasn't a big spot in the movie, but it was a bigger spot than a cameo, which is really cool."
Right. That's cool. And that was for your first film.
Yeah, it's my first. That was my first film. It's still not out yet. It's taking its time. He said he's not. He's going to take his time on it, make it perfect, and that's fine. And my second role is for. It was a music video, again off Craigslist, and it said it needed a doorman and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, so I put in for it, and it was for a music video for a band called PM Tiger, and the song is called "It's Gonna Hurt," and it's on YouTube now. And I worked 12 hours on set. Yeah, that was my second time. 12 hours on set for a 4-minute video. But it was the funnest thing. The PM Tiger guys are super cool. Now we're all friends. I talk to them, periodically here and there. And but yeah, that was really super cool. I met a lot of good people on that set, and the band was totally cool.
Cool. So you said how many films did you say you've been in?
I think it's 22. I may be a little off on that, but I think it's 22 right now with the music videos, the films, and all that. On my IMDb, only shows I think 15, but not all of them are on there.
Right. So, do you remember like one of the films that like just really stand out that you really enjoyed doing?
Yes, Sweet 713. That movie is it's a short film. It's directed. It was written and directed by Samuel Vincent. Sweet 713 it's got some of my best acting. It's got good emotions in it. It's going to highlight my all the emotions I can do, and it's kind of like a suspense thriller type thing.
Right.
I can't tell you too much about it because it'd spoil the film.
Right.
But it's going to get premiered on YouTube October 31st at 12 midnight.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up real soon.
All right, cool. So we'll put a link like on the bottom of this interview too, so that people can see that time and date and make sure that they
For sure. They're gonna love the film. It's got a little twist to it.
right.
It's super cool. Again, when I got Samuel, he contacted me. He goes, "I want you to do a film. I think it'd be perfect for it." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "I'll send you the script." Well, I didn't get the
Right.
script. I was just
Oh,
told to
wow.
show up. I was
Right.
told to show up across the state at Port St. Lucie. So I do. I show up and I'm like super nervous. Didn't get the script. I don't know what to do. I just know
Right.
I'm meeting Sam. And so I'll go there and instantly I see my buddy Patrick that we worked on Loyalty with. It's on Amazon. Loyalty's on Amazon right now. So I worked with him, and so I was super cool with him. So I'm like, "You're in the movie?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "So am I." All right, cool. Sam got there. I had to learn the script. So I learned the script, met everybody, and filmed the entire movie in like I think it was 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was super cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that difficult to be able to like get a script to try to learn it that way, or do you guys have cuts and stuff where you guys can kind of practice and you can go over it?
See, this is interesting you say that is because me being a singer hadn't memorized lyrics and
Oh, okay.
memorized lines. Now that kind of goes hand in hand.
Right.
So it's kind of easier for me to do it. I still mess up sometimes. I still forget my lines sometimes.
Right.
But it's just, reading it over and over and over and over. And once you get it in your head, it's in your head. And
Right.
luckily for me, not my buddies at Suite 713, because they were filming their a lot of their scenes first. So
Right.
I had time to go through mine. So I nailed mine. They
Right.
had a lot of trouble with theirs.
Wow. That's crazy that you guys were able to wrap up a film in 8 hours. Like
Yeah,
getting it
yeah.
either.
It was a short film. I think it was like 20, almost 30 minutes, but still, it was really cool.
Yeah. Even just doing commercials or something that's like a 4 minute spot. Like you just did the music video, and that one
Yeah,
took 12 hours. You know what I mean?
it
So
was. It was. Now Sam, and like I said, I did a show called Loyalty. It's an Amazon original. It's on Amazon right now. I think like 8 episodes are out right now. Robbie and Sam are very professional, so they know what they've been doing it for a while. They know what they're doing. So when they got in there, they had a game plan. Boom, boom, boom. This is what we're doing. We're shooting your scenes right now. We're shooting your scenes now. Boom,
right.
this is what we're doing. They laid it all out. Everybody remember your lines. And we did as much as possible. And it's like 8 or 9 hours. And we filmed that whole thing from start to finish. And of course, editing took a little longer.
Right. Cool. So you talked about going into acting, and you looked at people your age, and all the things that you thought was going against you.
Right.
What would you say to somebody that right now is trying to get into acting, but they're
Do it.
they're,
Do it. 100% do it. The
mm,
only thing that's stopping you is you yourself. So
wow.
if somebody's out there listening right now and they're
Mhm.
thinking about getting into acting, or they're thinking about being a wrestler, or whatever they're thinking about doing,
Right.
don't put it off anymore. Life is too short. Go for your dreams 100%. Don't starve your kids and don't starve your family. Do
Right.
what you got to do,
Right.
but go for it. Grab the dreams while you can.
Cool. That's great advice too. And that's
Yeah.
the other thing too, is if just your example, if you would have said, oh, it's too late in life to do, to make this kind of career change, or I mean, I don't fit what most people would think would be an actor, or I mean, then you would have procrastinated and not went for it.
Right.
But the fact that you did go for it, you've already done like 22 movies now, so in a short period of time. That's another thing too. I noticed in Florida. Florida, you guys put out movies like crazy in Florida, man. So
Yeah, we try. And now I travel too. Like I said, I do Uber and Lyft as my main income. I used to be a corrections officer, and I got hurt. I got my back hurt, so I left corrections, and I'm now Uber and Lyft driver.
right,
And so that opens me up to do whatever I want, anytime I want.
right,
Like right now, I took off to do the interview right here, and I just parked to do the interview. I
right,
don't have to ask anybody.
right,
And see, I film in Atlanta, I film in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Stanford, you name it. I'll go anywhere. If I get a paying gig, you go to Alabama, I'll go, or I'll go to New York or wherever. I'll go wherever it takes.
Wow. That's awesome. And that's commitment too. Yeah.
Yes. Well, like I said, I started at 46. I'm 49 now. I don't have much. I have time, but I in my heart, in my mind, I don't have a lot of time. I want to do it now, and I'm not going to give up. I gave up on wrestling back in the day. I was 26 when I had my last show in Ybor City, and I stopped. We started. Had my son and had my a couple years later having a little girl. So I was raising my family, and one of my trainers is now in WWE. His name is Roderick Strong. He trained me, and to see his success going to WWE, that was my dream as well.
Right.
Acting, I'm not stopping, man. I'm not going to stop until my name's on that walk of fame, man. I'm going to keep the gas pushed all the way.
Wow, that's good. And you talked about the show Loyalty. That's on.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that show.
Okay, and that's another one that I found off Craigslist, and it was one of my first gigs, and I lucked into it, man. I seen the ad on Craigslist. Right. I submitted it to Robbie. I didn't know who he was at the time, so I sent it, and I think a day they sent another email back to me, said, "Hey, we're very very interested and we like your look." I'm like, "My look?" It took me off, I'm like, "My look? You like a look? Well, okay, well that's fine." And so got the gig, and I was going down to Miami, Weston, Wynwood, Hollywood, Florida, all that for a year and a half. After that, it took me and them a year and a half to film that whole thing. 2 seasons it was filmed. So I think, like I said, 8 or 9 episodes are out right now on Amazon Prime.
Okay. What's the purpose of that show about?
The show's about it. It's called Loyalty. The main actor is T. He is a rapper, and drug dealer at the time, and he's wanting to go legit, and Malia is not wanting to go legit. She's wanting to stay and sell drugs and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's the whole thing. Goes in and out of the thing. I play a DEA agent in it, so I help bust some people and take them to jail.
Right.
And so there's a lot of action in it. They had a very good shootout in it that I'm in. I think two shootouts that I'm in. I had some lines in this movie, even though it was one of my first things. I play a supporting actor in it, so it was really, really cool.
Cool. And I asked this about a lot of my actors that come on the show, is if there's a particular movie or role that you could play, what would it be?
Oh wow. Wow, particular movie. I would love to be in a Friday the 13th movie. That'd be awesome. Wow. That was my childhood dream. Being I loved Friday the 13th. So being in one of them would be awesome. Even be better if I could play Jason. Right. But I got hired to do a comedy yet. We haven't filmed it yet. It's called Killer Deals. This is about selling cars in the 1990s. I can't wait for that one because that's my first comedy. And I'm a big goofball. I love to make people laugh. Right. So I can't wait for that, And right. I did my first stand-up comic routine, which is funny in Tampa. I plan on doing more of those as well, just because I like to make people laugh.
Wow. That reminds me Michael McGlone has been on the show. And he's a musician, he's an actor, and he's also a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And I think he's a lot like what you're saying, is that you just like to get in front of people and perform. Right. And it really doesn't matter basically the vehicle that you're using to do it.
Right. Exactly. It doesn't matter. My thing, I'm a very kind and genuine person. Right. I strive to be that, kind of person and stuff like that. So if I can make people laugh and forget about what's going on in their life, and if I can make people laugh and feel comfortable, I did my job, man. I just want everybody to laugh, feel great, and forget about a lot of the ugliness in this world, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm here to do, is entertain.
Right. And, and being a comedian, and it's I would think it's such a I guess a different environment from being an actor. So how did you kind of adapt and get into doing stand-up comedy?
A friend of mine's a stand-up comic. I've
Okay.
known him for like 3 years now. His name is Derek Tennant, and I've always wanted to do stand-up. Always wanted to do stand-up because I love comedians. Andrew Dice Clay, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Chris Farley. I love Chris Farley.
Right.
All these guys I've always looked up to. And I've always wanted to be up there and do it. I was just too scared to do it.
Right.
And one day, and I've been looking at all these shows, it's like, hey, just write your material. Whether you think it's funny or not, just write it and see what happens. And that's what my buddy Derek was telling me too. So I wrote some material, only 5 minutes. That's all you need for your first open mic.
Oh, wow.
And I got up there. My stomach was turning so bad. I'm like, oh my God, this is so horrible. So I got up there under the lights and everything. Everybody's looking at you and wanting to laugh. And you're supposed to make them laugh. Or I was supposed to make them laugh.
Right.
And it was so nerve-wracking. And I told a joke. I forget what it was, but I told a joke. And I thought for sure everybody would laugh. Not one laugh. And I'm like, I forgot everything I was supposed to say. Ended my set 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I said, thank you. Y'all have a good day. But I'm going back. I'm going to go back a couple more times until I get really, really comfortable and really doing it. And it's just right now the filming has been, there all the time. I just got through filming last weekend on a Rush call, which is really, really cool. Big shout out and thank you to the KLR creative group. I mean, thank you for having me on that show. So it was really cool.
Awesome. So, I want to ask you about the stand-up comedy. One more question about that because it just seems like so much pressure. Yeah, I mean, like when you get on there, how do you deal with that kind of pressure when you you're like when you're acting? You're not like in front of a live audience. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stage acting, but like in front of doing a stand-up comedy, you're like right there and you got to perform right on the spot. I mean, it seems like so much pressure.
Yeah, it is. And the main thing is, just try to be comfortable as much as you can in your own skin up there.
Right.
Because people are wanting to laugh. They're there to have a good time.
Right.
You may have a heckler here and there, but you kind of try to push that out of your mind and just go out there and do you. You got 5 minutes to do an open mic. And just do it. I mess up on my first one, but I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to go back. It's a lot of pressure. It really is. To get up there and perform live or speak live in front of anybody, it's a lot of pressure. But I think my willingness to be in the entertainment business and my wanting to do this and make people laugh and make people feel comfortable that's what gets me over that hump.
Cool. I'm glad you're going back and going to try it again. So be successful. I mean, that's what happens. I mean, you try it. I wouldn't say you failed. That was your first attempt at it.
I did. I didn't fail at all because I feel like a fail is not doing it. One, another fail is not getting any laughs. But I got some laughs. Just that one joke kind of messed me up, and I didn't get no laughs on that one. And I thought everybody was gonna laugh on it, but they didn't. So. And that's what messed me up, but I still got laughs and I still got out there and did it, and nobody goes, if I never go back, nobody's ever going to remember me, like, hey, remember that guy? He's the one that failed. That's not ever going to happen, so, and I think that's what stops a lot of people from doing what they want to do and doing, following their dreams, because they get that stuck in their head that everybody's going to remember me and I'm a failure, and you're not. I mean, just get out there and put yourself out there and do as much as you can.
Right. And that's a great point too, is that, so many people have, dreams and they have a purpose and they have, passions to do things. And then I think that a lot of people talk themselves out of it in their head because they're so worried about, I don't say failing, but they talk themselves out of it. They talk about, in different ways. And, the whole thing is like you're saying, it's not failing. You got to get out there and try.
Right.
You have to try. And even if that one joke threw you off, I mean, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? get back out there. Now you know what you got to do next time. You know what I mean?
Exactly. When I started acting, it was in my head living up there for months, and I was thinking about it constantly, while I was going to work and stuff like that. And if I'd have just kept thinking about it, not acting on it, then I'd still be thinking about it today,
Right.
But the wantingness the willing and wanting to change my life in a dramatic fashion, was so strong in me, and I had a fire for it so much that I started seeking out and finding where to go, how to do it, and I went and did it. And then that's another thing. If somebody really, really wants to do something, don't matter what it is, if they really, really want to do it, they'll make sure they do it. They'll make sure they don't talk themselves out of it.
Right.
Because I could have talked myself out of it a long time. And just wanting to put myself out there and wanting the best for my kids and myself.
Right.
I just keep doing it.
Cool. And then that's the thing too, is that you're trying different things, which is really cool, because you're not just settling on just one.
Right.
One.
Well, so, you never know. I mean, a stand-up career could intertwine with acting. I mean, look at all the comics out there. It intertwines. It's all entertainment, which is fine. I just want to be a huge star one day, whether it's going to be I'm a stand-up comedian or I'm an actor or whatever it's going to be. I'm going to be a star one day, and my star is rising as of right now. I mean, I'm just going to make sure it shines the brightest of all of them.
Cool. And like I talked about earlier with Florida having doing all these different types of movies. Bobby Washington, and John Montez. I watch all these guys out there, and they're like just cranking out movies. Heather Farley. When have you thought about like directing and like producing a movie or?
Yes, absolutely. I got 2 ideas. One's going to be like a suspense type horror film. The other one's going to be a drama. I'm just kicking around ideas up in my head. I don't know how to write a script. I've never done it before, but we're going to try give it the old college try for sure.
Right.
And like I said, I've never done acting before, and but yeah, eventually stuff's going to come out. I got a few ideas that I want to do. I also want to write a book as well. About some things that happened in my life as well. And there's a lot of things a creative mind never stops.
Right.
And I do have a creative mind, from writing songs to help writing some scripts and all that already. Right. Your mind never stops. It's always going on something.
Right. I think that's true about just creative people. I mean, your mind is always working. I mean, I even when I'm trying to lay down and sleep, I have all these things going through my head that I can up and start writing things down, because I'm like, if I don't write it down now, I'm going to forget it in the morning.
Exactly. My phone's full of notes in there, so I pull up my phone. I start jotting down notes because I'll forget it.
Right. Yeah, that's how I am too. I'm like, and then it's just hard to sleep because you've got so much,
Usually, if I'm that, if it's hard for me to sleep and I'm that creative, I'll get up and I'll start writing. I'll act on it. I'll fill out papers, whatever I have to do. If it's on my mind to put in for casting, I'll go search for casting for 8-9 hours if I don't have anything to do.
Right.
And I'll look in from from Atlanta to New York to Los Angeles. I look everywhere, and if it's feasible for me to go, that's where I'm going.
Cool. And I was going to ask you too. Whenever, like, if somebody's trying to get into this, and you talk about these casting calls, where do they find these casting calls? Where, if
like I found my first ones on Craigslist. Now for a female, I tell female actresses all the time, Craigslist is not the best, if you're a female. But I did find a lot on Craigslist under gigs. You go under gigs and you find that. Later on, I found Backstage. And Backstage is a professional thing. Only thing is you have to pay for it. It's like $20-something a month or something like there. There's also called Actors Access, Project Casting. A lot of things on Facebook as well. A lot of casting things. Just if you want to just do free stuff, it's Craigslist and Facebook, and it's just all right there.
Okay,
And,
cool.
and now that I've been doing several movies and all that, it's
Right,
word of mouth. You know, if this actor says, "Hey, man, I think you'd be perfect for this film," and then it's stuff like that.
right. And
And
that,
I just got through doing a film called A Killer in the Dead with Austin. Don't know how to say his last name. It starts with a J. I don't want to murder his name. I think it's Janowski or something like that.
okay.
Very awesome guy. Had so much fun on that film. That was one of the sets that
Mhm.
everybody was super cool. Everybody just clicked together. That was such a fun film. If Austin never called me to do another movie, I'd be there in a heartbeat. I'd
Oh,
love to working with him.
you said what was the name of that movie?
What was that, sir?
What was the name of that movie?
A Killer in the Dead.
A Killer in the Dead. Okay.
It's going to be part of the Orlando's independent filmmakers their Jolt Challenge.
Okay.
That I was in that one and a movie called Moonlight Mayhem. So I got 2 films in that, and
Oh,
I
wow.
think it's coming like November 5th. I think it's coming up pretty soon.
Okay, cool. Do you have any other new movies coming out that you've
I
worked
do.
on?
There is a feature film that I've already filmed. It should be coming out this year or the beginning of next year. It's called Peyton's Caper. Feature film. I played convict in that one, which is actually pretty cool. The director, he goes, "I know you're, was a corrections officer. Do you want to play convict?" I'm like, "Totally. I can totally do that, man."
Right.
So that was a fun shoot, and so I play a convict in that one. And that's coming out soon. And a lot of them are just like, I did one called the Valedictorian. I don't think that's ever going to come out, and that's sad. That some of them that they never really come out. They never
Right.
get released. There's sometimes
Right.
like there's this one movie that I shot in Treasure Coast called Borders. It was for Buzz TV Networks at the time,
Mm,
and it was supposed to be out at a certain date. Well, I never heard anything,
right.
and a few months go by, never heard anything. Well, the writer of the story contacts me and goes, "Hey, Johnny, I'm sorry that it's taken so long. The director, Jeff, died." And I'm
Oh,
like, "Oh my gosh."
wow.
And so that movie's probably never going to come out either. So, I mean, I got some out right now. Loyalty's out. It's on Amazon Prime, already out.
Mm,
You can find that on Amazon Prime. I was in Bar Rescue. You could find that on Paramount TV. They don't hire actors. I lucked into that one, and
right.
that's on Paramount TV. Woods Fever is a horror film. It's a cool film. It's on YouTube. You can see
Yeah.
that for free. Hero In is a true story drama. That's on YouTube as well, and you can check that one out. Very good film, true story. Very sad ending. It's about addiction and friendship.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a good movie.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah, I loved it. I love working on it. I love filming it. I love to even watch it still to this day. I watch it all the time,
oh,
but it's a very sad story.
oh, wow. Cool. So what we'll do is, I can get the links to some of these, and that way people can go and watch the films as well and help support, uh,
Yeah.
the movement out there. Get that, go out there and see. That's the other thing too that I really like about independent film is that I really think that that's kind of the direction that we're going, now. I think that people are kind of moving away from going to the movie theaters. Everything's live streaming. Um,
Yeah.
and I enjoy watching independent films more so than a big box office movie because I think that they're more creative and most of the time they're an original idea. You
Right.
look at the box office; it's always cranking out the same things over and over. Like I said, you kind of watch Jurassic Park so many times.
That's right. Yeah, you're right about that. And another film I forgot. I don't know how I forgot this one. The same director of Woods Fever.
Mhm.
We just got through film. Well, not just got through. We already filmed a movie called My House. I think
Okay.
it's actually a feature film. I play a detective in that one. It's a horror 80s slasher type film, and
Right.
it's going to be in select theaters in Atlanta. Um,
Okay.
and when it comes out, I'm not sure what platform it's going to be out. It's probably going to be on the same one. It's like some streaming thing that Woods Fever was on. But when it is, I'll let people know for sure when it comes out.
Cool. And that was the other thing I was going to ask you is people who want to follow you in your career, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can follow me at Instagram on The Real Johnny Shirley. I don't have my own website yet,
Okay.
or they could just look at my, IMDb me, Johnny Shirley. That shows, a lot of my stuff has my contact info if they want to contact me. If any directors want to contact me or anything, is IMDb and The Real Johnny Shirley on Instagram. Or I do have my own professional Facebook page on Facebook. It's Johnny Shirley at Rising Star JS.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll make sure we post all this
Okay.
link so that people can just go click on the link and
Yeah, for sure.
find you. I appreciate you being on the show today.
Oh no, thank you for having me. It was such an honor to do it. It was real fun to do it for sure. And it's like with this hurricane's finally gone. Don't have to worry about that no more. It's just now putting everything back together, doing a lot of yard work. Luckily, my house, we all lucked out at my house. Very minimal damage. A lot of trees down, a lot of branches and stuff like that. But prayers for South Florida, man, because they really got nailed down there, and they're still dealing with a lot of stuff right now.
And I should have asked you about that too, because that's one of the reasons we had to postpone, is because the hurricane is coming. So what's the consensus now out there, with the damage?
Yeah, I live in a little city called Lithia, Florida. From where the hurricane made landfall, it's probably about 2 hours south. Where I'm 2 hours north. That's 2 hours south. We still got Category 4 hurricane winds up here. That's why my neighborhood, is a lot of trees down, a lot of damage out there already. Still, not so much flooding. The Alphi River did flood a lot. But it's nothing like catastrophic down there. Luckily, we escaped that part. But Wi-Fi out where I live was horrible to begin with. Now it's almost non-existent. It's hopefully not even there. Hopefully it's going to be coming up soon. Luckily, for some reason, this was one of the worst storms that's hit since Charlie in 2004 in my area. And this time, the linemen, the power people were on point. It only my power is only off for a day and a half, and that's it. I mean, they came in, they fixed everything. Now they're still out there fixing. A lot of people still without power here and there, but they're still fixing it. But my power is only off for a day and a half, and I was surprised.
Wow.
Because with Hurricane Charlie and Irma, I was without power for 3 weeks.
Wow. That's a long time to be without power. 3 weeks?
It's a long time, especially in Florida, man. I know in Texas it gets just as hot up there. I mean, imagine having no AC.
Yeah, we did that last summer, or not last winter. We had a winter storm come in, and it knocked out all of our power, and we were out of for about like 3 days. And sometimes, and you're in the middle of the of the winter. Before the storm, I went and bought some firewood, and we burned through all the firewood. And by the time it was over, I was cutting branches off the tree, trying to throw into that fireplace to try to keep warm. But it's not fun having going several days without electricity.
Oh, that's for sure, man. I mean, for sure. And you guys got some crazy weather out there in Texas as well, man. Where you're getting cold or hot or whatever. I mean, I like the weather, so I kind of, especially hurricanes, I always track them. And so I try to find out where they are, where they're going, how big they're going to be and all that stuff. Because it's very interesting to me. Maybe I should have been a weatherman. I don't know. But yeah.
And that's the thing about Florida too, is you guys get a lot of storms out that way too. So
yeah. Unfortunately, we get a lot of hurricanes here and there. I mean, luckily in Tampa, we're blessed. We haven't been a direct hit yet, and I think since the 50s, thank God. Because if this last one would have hit Tampa, it would have devastated Tampa. I mean, I believe. I mean, it devastated down south really bad. People were still without power down there. I think they got a curfew down there till 10 o'clock still. Just a lot of people needing help down there right now. Yeah.
And that's the thing too, is I know a couple of people out there that was looking to do some kind of a charity or a fundraiser to help some of the people out there who's struggling. So
Yeah.
Yeah, if you my audience, if you guys have a chance to help out, definitely get involved and help these guys.
Exactly. Yes, I'm always about helping somebody if I can, for sure. If they need money, time, whatever I could do for somebody that they need, I always try to do it.
Right.
I
That's
always try to
awesome.
do, help, because we're all in this together, so we got to help each other out, man.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I'm glad you're safe, man. I'm glad you
Yeah.
that you were able to come back on, and it was fun getting to know you, and the things that you're working on. I'm going to spend this weekend. I'm going to go watch Loyalty.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
I watched the first 5 episodes because I've been so busy, I haven't watched the rest of them. I'm definitely in the first 4 episodes for sure.
Cool.
I think episode 2 is you have a really cool shootout that I'm in, and that was really cool to watch.
Awesome.
It's a Haitian, it's half Haitian, so it's an international TV series.
Oh,
So
wow.
they have subtitles if it's in Creole, and if it's in English, they have subtitles for people who don't, who speak Creole and English. So,
Right.
and we had our premiere down in Miami at the James L. Knight Center, January of this year, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
Super big premiere, the biggest premiere I've ever done in my life. So much fun. I did like 6 or 8 interviews from the Dominican Republic,
Oh,
Haiti,
wow.
all these different countries,
Right.
over there that I thought was super, super cool. And
Wow.
I'm like, these guys are wanting to interview me. I thought that was so super cool, man. I had so much fun. I met um, oh man, I forgot his name. He's a pop star. He was down there. I forgot his name. Starts with K. Kenny. What? Oh well, whatever. But there's a lot of stars down there, and it was just like a real Hollywood star,
Oh, wow.
like type thing. All kind of cameras, all kind of. It was so much fun, man.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
if everybody wants to watch it, it's like I said, it's on Amazon Prime.
Right.
You're gonna love it. It's got a lot of action, a lot of drama. Got a lot of drug sales, a lot of cops busting them. It's got
Right.
some killing and some shooting and all that. It's a good show.
Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out this weekend, and
Yeah, definitely.
need something to do, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So cool. All right, man. Like again, I said, thank you so much for being on. It was a pleasure getting to know you and kind of hear about your journey and things that you're working on. Thank you for taking the time out.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me. I mean, it really does mean the world to me to be on the show, because I watched a lot of your stuff. I love watching your podcast. And I really wanted to be a part of it too. So, I mean, thank you for having me. That's awesome.
That's not a problem at all. And we'll have you come back and as you pick up these movies, and we'll bring you back in, man, and we'll talk about some of the new stuff.
Hey, that sounds great to me, man. I'd love to do it again.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching the show today. Make sure you check out Johnny's his stuff, and make sure you're supporting the things that these guys are doing, because it's their livelihood, one, and then it's their passion, their purpose, and I want you guys to really support these guys and what they're doing. So it's these guys bringing these guys on has just been such a blessing, and just awesome to get to know these guys. So I want you guys to make sure you're supporting what they're doing. So anyways, until the next show, remember, you are uniquely designed with the purpose, and always keep moving forward. Peace.